Hello, whoever's in here. I am just getting ready to set up my altar for Samhain, and just because it's considered October is the witch's new year, I am going to go right outside for just a quick second to shake this out because it's full of incense dust, and I'll be right back. It takes 2 seconds to do that, so that's the easy thing. Oh, it's so much better. These things collect dust, so I have to clean them every so often. At least twice a week is probably ideal. And this table here is what I'm going to be using. I'm going to be using this to set up. I'm going to bring this closer as well. I'm going to bring my camera closer so that way you guys can actually see what I'm doing. I'll explain what things are and what they're used for as I go through. Bear with me. I might grab a paper towel just to dust things off as I go. Be right back. Okie dokie. Hi James. Hi Bax. So I'm just here setting up my altar for Samhain, and I'm just trying to get things organized. I am pagan, and for me, I'm pagan. I consider myself a witch. I practice witchcraft. I do follow the Wiccan wheel of the year. So for me, it's considered to be the witch's new year at the end of this month, actually on Halloween. I'll show you guys right here. This box means a lot to me because it has the goddess symbol, and each of these little points represents a different goddess: the mother, the maiden, and the crone. And inside I like to keep all my crystals. And actually I need to put this out. It's amber, but I have a lot of them in here and they all mean something kind of different. Do you know Sarah Rami? No, I don't. Who is she? Is she another YouTuber? I mean, I live in Connecticut, so I probably don't know her locally. But I'll be setting up according to left to right. Everything for the goddess is always on the left. Everything for the god, the male deity, is going to be on the right. So I have the silver candle here, and silver always represents the goddess. Oh, she's pagan, or she's in Connecticut? You have to specify. So this is my silver candle. It's gonna probably run out soon, and I'm gonna need to, because I use it all the time. I try to do ritual at least once a day. And here's my male candle, my god candle. I do need to get deity candles at some point. Unfortunately, it's really hard for me to find statuary that I like, because I prefer Hades and Persephone as my patron deities, and I just haven't found statues of them lately where they're not where Hades isn't this intimidating ripped figure, which Hades was kind of a really cool dude in Greek mythology, so I don't really want that over-intimidating, overbearing kind of statuary. He wasn't Adonis. That was another guy. So this is my incense burner. I really like this, just obviously I do smoke scrying. Smoke scrying, I'm going to move this obnoxious bottle. Smoke scrying is part of my divination practice, and that's, Native Americans have been doing it for the longest time, just seeing symbols in the smoke. Let's see, she is. Her channel is Lady Money, check her out. She's another YouTuber, but is she like a Disney YouTuber? I'm a Disney YouTuber. I do witchy stuff, pagan stuff. So here, hold on. I'm going to bring this into the view a little bit more so you can see it as I go. Ugh, there we go. You guys can actually see that some. So I also have, because it's Samhain, it is the time of the year where it's associated with the male half of the year, the male deity. Spring, summer, all that fun stuff. That was associated with the goddess. Now, winter and fall are really closely associated with the god of the hunt, and just the green man of the forest. We know him as the green man, Cernunnos. Just Cernunnos, the green man. It could be Hades. It could be many different male deities. Really, it really depends who you follow. I personally prefer a couple different ones. I prefer Cernunnos and I prefer Hades. To me, they just stand out more. Cernunnos is more like of the green man kind of thing. That's just me. So here I have like a willow wooden wand. That's going to also go on the god side of the altar. And not to be crude, but everything that's kind of phallic goes on the god side of the altar. I do have an Atme as well here. Hi Roseberry Baron. I do have my Atme as well. This is never, ever, ever used to cut anything. So if there's any misconception about paganism right now, I want you to know if you know a pagan and they own an Atme and they ever harm or cut anything with it, they are doing it wrong. And if they are using it to cut, get away from them. If I'm being honest, it might be a little scary because this is supposed to be used to help cut the metaphysical plane, which very airy way of saying, you know, spell work, really. So there's that. I do have now my other little things here. Like I have my bell, which is one of my favorite items here, handmade, and it looks like a leaf. And you do this, you just ring it a few times, and that is supposed to help you call in deity. So it's gonna go on the other side. I'm gonna move this a bit so you guys can actually see what I'm doing. So, your birthday's near Halloween. That's really cool. You're lucky. I love Halloween. So, because it is that time of the year when, in October especially, the veil between the land and the living, and the land of the living and the dead is supposed to be kind of at its thinnest. So, we're supposed to be able to contact the dead easier. So, I do have animal bones here. And I'm going to set those out as well. This one's actually really funny. This is a raccoon bone, and if you know what this is, 10 points. Because it's phallic. I will give you that. And I actually bought this as a joke, but I didn't know that I was going to eventually use it. Bought it at the Evolution store. It is actually a raccoon penis bone, if you can believe that. It's called a backyum. 10 points if you didn't know that. That's education. But apparently, some mammals have these in their genitalia, which is really weird. But it is a bone. And clearly the only way you're getting this thing is if the animal's deceased. Taxidermy. The Evolution store, New York City, does ethical taxidermy. But I do have some vertebrae here. I believe these are vertebrae. And I believe these might have been from, like, lamb that we made curry from a long time ago. And I forget what this guy's from. I also want to say it's lamb. But we do... These are going to go on the altar. I'm going to put these to the side. Bones are very important this time of year. They are considered to have powerful magic. Sorry, it's my fiance. So this little pumpkin, gourds are a traditional offering. This is a white gourd. White, put this on the goddess side. Orange, pumpkin, male deity. We have an offering dish here. An offering dish of things that will not go bad, thankfully. It's being abalone shell, and it has driftwood. There's driftwood holding it up, and it's just filled with oats and almonds and just general things you might eat if, I guess if you're a deity. Well, it's more along the lines of gods of harvest. So, gods of harvest and hunt, and obviously I'm not going to put meat on my altar because it's just weird and probably gross. The bell is so cute. I love my bell. It's really, really pretty. I got it at Pagan Pride. I love it. I want to clear up something here. I love Halloween. I absolutely love Halloween. I will completely theme my makeup to it. It's like, you can't see it here, but it's orange eyeshadow, orange lipsticks, orange sweater. But Samhain is different than Halloween. It is considered the witch's new year. It is totally different. Yes, we respect the dead. Yes, there is divination done. Yes, there's spell work done. And by spell work, I do not mean you're going to fly. You're not going to jump on a broomstick and fly. It does not work. Trust me, every witch has tried. Every witch who is from Hocus Pocus. And it doesn't work. And that's not the way it is. If you're a negative person, you get negative energy back. That's how karma works. Anybody who meditates knows all about that. So I want to say, I forget what symbol this is. I thought this might be, tell me if you know this symbol. I forget what it is, but I thought it was like the fountain of life or something, or like the symbol for the tree of life, but I forget what that is. But this is the goblet. So the goblet always goes on female deity side. Again, the male gets all the cool stuff, gets wands and athame. The female deity also gets a cauldron, because you can't do all your spell work without a cauldron. So she does get a lot of neat stuff. But let's see, I'm going to also be, there's a little shelf up there I will show you as well. I have, believe it or not, it's kind of weird, but I have little baby teeth in here. These are my daughters when they fell out. And they say teeth are tricky to work with because you don't really know if they're going to end up adorning some of the personality of the person that had them. So that's a bit of a tricky thing. So it is a weird one. But overall, pretty good. I have a hagstone here, and I love hagstones. I love a good hagstone because they say this helps you to see the other realms, like the fairy realm. And I think that's really cool. I think that even though I consider this a feminine item, I feel as though it should go in between both the male and female sides. So I have definitely a few other items down here. I have lots of crystals. I do have this key here that has to go out. This is for the crone goddess. It symbolizes the crone goddess, Hecate. And you can definitely work with many deity, I believe. I don't think there's one way to do it. They say you should have an archetype. I don't think you have to work with one. I think that's ridiculous. Do what you need to do. Work with who you need to work with. I also have this feather here for smudging. This is if I'm going to light incense. This will be really lovely to use. I can either place that right in the goblet, or I can place it in between the pumpkins. I'm going to place these bones as well while I've got them out. I feel as though it's only fitting that the vacuum bone go on the male deity side. Tell me if I'm wrong. Tell me if I'm wrong or if that's just mean. I do have a chunk of citrine here. The citrine is a symbol of the male god, so that's going to go on his side. Any of the white stones are going to go on the female deity side. Black stones will go on the male deity. On the male deity side here, I do have, I'm going to try to balance this some. Maybe try to put these bones out in front. It's really, really important that when you do that, I think that you are respectful. Just because you ate the animal doesn't mean that its life is any less valuable than yours. In my opinion. So that's just me. Oh, cool. Somebody I met today, except for my friend request. I want to believe, I think this is selenite. I think this is a selenite stone, which is supposed to be really good. I think it's have like magical properties. They do make wands out of this, selenite wands, I believe. I want to say it's selenite. Tell me if I'm wrong. I do have an oil burner that has to make its way. Oil burners are just, they're a nice addition to have. They really are. I love them. They're really nice to have. They're just a fun item for smoke scrying. They really help set the mood for meditation. Stuff like that. Really, I just think they help. Very useful tool. So I also have like a good chunk of crystals here. A lot of these crystals are just gonna be going up. because crystals are supposed to, especially amethyst, as we all know, amethyst is great for imagination, great for creativity. And so obviously I think they just need to be there. I think they're just one of those things that you're just, I don't know, I think an altar just kind of needs them. I feel like there's no wrong spot. There is no wrong spot for a piece of amethyst. It's just me. So obviously these things are considered like mega crystals. They're like chargers almost, because back in the day, a piece of quartz, clear quartz, used to be put in watches to make the hands tick, which I always thought that was really cool. So I'm going to place that right in between, and I'm going to put that piece of, there's an extra chunk of amethyst I have right here. It's also going to go right there. I want to say this is abalone. So I love this little leaf. It's like a leaf. It reminds me of the goddess because it's soft and feminine, but it also does remind me kind of the Green Man lore. So I'm going to put it on this side of the table. I'm going to show you all my different stones that I have down here that I'm going to definitely put up. Hi! So I'm setting up my Samhain Altar. My altar for October. It's the witch's new year, like I was saying earlier in the video. All these stones are going to go up there. I need to research this guy again. I do know this is a moon associated stone. I forgot the name of it. Just purchased it, just read into it. Thought it was really pretty. And this is definitely a female deity kind of thing, because everything involving the mother, the maiden, and the crone is going to be associated heavily with the female non-deity. And so that's all going to go right on her side. I'm going to nestle her into that rabbit fur that I have here. Hi! I guess that, psychopath, psycho ducky. Couldn't read that. So, yeah, I'm going to nestle these little white stones here right up in the goddess side of the altar. If you would like to see, I can turn this around for you a little bit more. I am setting up my altar. So if you can see that better. I'll also be like giving you a definite look better at the end. Just thank you. I always appreciate the hugs. Everyone needs that in their life. Oh no! Hold on, I have to fix this now. Oh no. Let me put those down. This is when things get rocky, when you don't have a good stand. Okay. So I'm gonna, all right, back to where I left off. I'm gonna be putting these, so I'm gonna have to move this hawk feather for just a second. The black stones represent the male god, and so they go on his side of the altar, which is always to the right. And all these white stones represent the female deity, so they go all the way over here. I think anything that's kind of blurred, like this one here, which is another one, I have to look in, I think it's Dalmatian jasper. They go right in the middle. Yeah, snowflake obsidian. That's a primarily black stone. Goes more on his side. This is a piece of jet, and that's from lava, made from lava. I think they're really cool. I love these. And I know this is some sort of moonstone. I just know it. I know it. Oh, my mom told me what this one is, and I can't remember. It's this man-made stone from India, but it still supposedly has metaphysical properties. I think it's really pretty. It's really pretty. Maybe if you guys want to stick with me later on, maybe I'll do some research. But yeah, all these black stones will be going on his side. And this one's kind of a greenish white, but I'm gonna put it out there anyway, because you know, let's be real, you can't go wrong if the intent is there, if you have good intent. We got more jet. Looks like, actually this might be, no, this is an Apache steer, I think. I want to say it's an Apache steer, and a different snowflake obsidian, and this is just from a different region of Africa, so this is a different part of the world. That's just a different part of that continent. So that's why that's gonna go there. I also have I'm pretty sure this is like a little piece of coal. I think it's a piece of coal or maybe hematite. I don't know, but I'll have to look into it. There's so many that I have that just kind of, you do need to look into them. But and I definitely have other ones down here. I do know fool's gold actually does have its place in the metaphysical world. It is a real thing, and I have to definitely look into what it means a bit more. I know that there's meaning behind it, but it's just going to go right out on the altar, regardless. I also have an arrowhead here, which is really neat, and arrowheads are a Native American thing, but Native Americans definitely are very, like myself, I'm part Native American, we're very into the metaphysical as well, so there's definitely going to go there, regardless. And also, you know, the male deity, especially between Greeks and Celtics, and the Irish gods, Celts, like Norse, everything of the male deity has always been associated strongly as god of hunt. So I feel like it would be kind of inappropriate to have an arrowhead and to not leave it out, because I mean they're little spears. It's a little spear. How would you not want it out? So I feel like it should be out there. I feel like it's a useful tool that he would approve of. I think, again, it's all based on your preference. I do have a small chunk of amethyst. It's very, very small. And everything that's kind of small, like really tiny, is going to go on my incense burner. Just that way the smoke can rise up over it. And just because I'm kitschy and I'm still witchy, I have my little tiny witch hat bead, which I think is adorable, that I also got at Pagan Pride. Now, this little beauty, I use it for smudging sage and incense, and it's just going to go right on top. I need to get a vase. I know. But it's just how it is. I also have this other little tiny, what I believe is probably a pigeon feather. But again, if you're ever in a pinch and you need it, it's there. And that's what matters. I also have, this thing is cool. I love this. It actually probably has to go underneath something, but this helps my pendulums. It's not a Ouija board. Very similar. It has the goddess symbol in the middle of it. But it's just there for the pendulum. I have two. I picked one up today, actually. Could not help it. It just called my name. And I have two. This one's lapis lazuli. I want to say, oh geez, I forgot what they said this one was. I want to say it's sodalite or fluorite. No, I think it's fluorite. I think this one's fluorite, and this one is lapis lazuli. And this one just, it's so pretty. And because I'm a Disney nerd, it reminded me of Hades. Just look at it. And yes, they do swing. If you can actually do this on your own, if you have a pendulum and you ask it to do something, I'm just letting it do its own thing. But if I think about the word like stop, it will stop on its own. It's very hard to not move. You can't move while you're doing it, and your body has to be still. But like this little baby, she'll do it too, if I really want her to. So yes, I do refer to them as hims and hers and all that. Like, I just will think of something and it'll swing for yes, or stop for no. Very simple. They're very simple. Very, very simple divination tools. And I'm really happy to share that with somebody. Like, if you don't know what it is, they're simple. Crystals have their own vibration, just like everything else does. And so they will pick up on your own vibration as well. And it's easy for you to just kind of tap into them. Pendulums especially, they're very easy to tap into. I love them. Great tools, especially October. It's a great month for them. I have to keep my pendulums out and at the ready, especially at this month. Divination is huge this month. It's just our thing, I guess. It's when the veil between the land of the dead and when the between the land and the dead and land of the living and the dead is at its thinnest. So it's just the easiest time for your loved ones to contact you, or anything else. No, I'm kidding. But I'm gonna have to move this hagstone down for a second. Like, some of this may have to be slightly moved. But, oh no! Not the hawk feather. Not the pigeon feather. The most common of birds. I take myself so seriously. So I'm gonna be moving that back into place. And this is just me kind of cleaning it up a bit. Like, some of it might have to go up. Like, when I say up, I mean up on the shelf that I have up here. Which, I'll bring you guys around to. Oh! This is from Mabon. It's just a little dried wildflower wand. I thought it was a nice offering. So, there's that. Okay. Okay, so I'm gonna bring you guys over here a bit. Bear with me. Okay, so there is so you can see how I set it up already. Sorry about the screeching noise. Okay. So stuff like this, like, I think certain things should be on the altar, or at least near it. Like, as much as I want my hagstone out in the bones out, my altar's clearly starting to get cluttered, as you can probably see even from here. There's just a lot on there. So certain things, like small stuff, just to make my life a little easier. That's my life, you guys. I'm gonna be definitely moving some small things. Like, I'm gonna see what fits in this little area. And I'm not too worried about it not having direct, like, this is too big. I'm not too worried about the items not having direct contact with the altar, just because they're gonna be right there above it. And this is like a temporary thing anyway. We're remodeling the house, and so this is kind of a temporary fix for us. I feel as though the bones, honestly, I feel like yes, they are important, but I feel like they should be out on display. But I also feel like, yes, they have their place on the altar, absolutely. But I feel like my altar's really small right now. And I am the kind of person, I can't just get something just because I like it. I have to, like, love it and feel a connection to it. So, for me, that's kind of it. Like, that's why I ended up with two pendulums. I feel like that other one, like, just didn't want me to leave without it. I'm just like, oh, the blue one really, really wanted to be picked up, apparently. So, and that's how I ended up with two. I feel like bones should definitely maybe be up here. Just because, like, it's a matter of respect. The pendulums themselves, as much as I want them on the altar, they are definitely a secondary tool to the altar itself. And so we're just going to move them. Like, they are a tool to be used for spell work, not a tool that's going to be an offering and representational all the time. So there's that. So that's going to be kind of up there. So I'll be right back. Now, as silly as this is gonna sound, this is I'm gonna show you some other things that I have here too. Like, let me see if I can bring it up a little bit. So, I also have, I'm gonna have to show it to you in a minute, but this here, I know, just a bowl, simple, right? But you fill this bowl with water in a dimly lit room. In a dimly lit room, maybe it's like one candle, one good candle or so. And don't look directly into the water. Place a crystal into it and just kind of like gaze over it and meditate. And you should see any kind of images start to form. And that is divination as well. Those images should be something that you can research and look up and see what they mean and what they're trying to tell you. And if it feels like it's applicable to your life, it probably is. Sometimes I feel like when I do that, if you have no intent, no questions when you're going into it, don't be surprised if, if honestly, if it seems like the water's just kind of putting on a show for you. I find that happens to me quite often. If I have nothing that I need to know or need to ask, sometimes just by placing crystals in the water and like watching the flames like around you, like not flames around you, but like the candle like illuminating the water, it does kind of play tricks with your mind. Your mind's not used to looking at something blank for so long, so your brain will try to fill in those blanks. I'm going to show you, geez, sorry, I accidentally closed that for a second. I'm going to show you up here as well. That right there is my really cool, I love it. It's like, they are horns. Do not worry, no deers were harmed in the making of this. That is my horned god representation. It is the antler. And again, male deers, if you know, they do shed their antlers, so no harm to the deer. And that was from an ethical taxidermy place as well, up in Brooklyn. I'm so sorry, you got a face full of sputter. So that kind of had to go up because he is the horned god. If you look up Cernunnos or who said it? The Green Man, he does have big antlers. I know, common misconceptions. Another thing I can show you, these do not go out on the altar all year round, or they do not go out all the time. I'm also going to light a candle very soon. My candle and incense very soon. But I have a bunch of candles here. And I'm just going to show them to you. I have another one of these because I need something to hold my candles in. So usually when you're doing spell work, you shouldn't need too many candles. And hi, whoever's in here. So when you're doing spell work, you really shouldn't need too many candles. What you should idealistically, is to have the candle color correspondence. So there's that. Hi, James, if you're still in here. So I have, as you can see, here's a cream colored one, yellow, lavender, light purple, lilac, purple. Yes, they all do mean different things. We have a lady of a metaphysical shop down the street, and she does this. Hi, James. If you would like, I can definitely give you my quick altar tour again. I'm just showing you guys the candles that I usually would use in spell work. Obviously, a brown candle, red candle would be for protection, lust. I have to research everything, though. It's hard to keep up. Silver candle, white candle. One thing I will say is, that's one thing about paganism is, like, there's so much research involved in everything. So the research is never ending. Yeah, support each other. Everyone has to. If you know any other Wiccans or pagans, let me know. Obviously, blue candle, tranquility and peace. Black candle for... honestly, I think the black candle is probably universal. And, like, there's pink, green, blue, light blue. Black candle's probably universal, like I was getting to, and that's probably just because, in my opinion, I would think that, you know, black being this, like, all the colors can really be anything. But it depends on what you're doing, what the intention setting is. It also depends on, like, all sorts of crazy stuff, like the moon phases. Hello, whoever is in here. I just see my little corner there lighting up and tells me there's one person in the chat. I don't know who it is. But if you're ever in Connecticut, please visit my friend Heidi. You can see that. I can try to get the focus. It's not focusing. Cauldron's Flame. Plainville, Connecticut. 860-845-2656. That's the phone number. In Plainville, Connecticut. Really, really great shop owner. Very nice witch. Very wonderful witch and teacher. I do want to take her classes at one point. Sorry, I had to put all the stuffing back in these bags full of candles. And that just stays by the altar for now, because I do not, if you can't see it already, there's no room on the altar. You need help finding a girlfriend. I am so sorry about that. You came to the wrong lady. Look, I do YouTube. It should give you a clue. I need help finding friends. I mean, I have a fiance, but I'm lucky. So, let me see if I can get this thing to focus. Okay, so if you didn't get all that before, so it's just a lot of my, I'm trying here so hard. I have an iPad and it's really obnoxious. So, hawk feather for smudging. It also goes the opposite way too, so it's weird. Let me know if you got all that. So yeah, that's just like my whole setup. I'll also just take another photo of it and put it on Instagram. But yeah, no, I'm like that total weirdo outcast at school. So, good luck. Don't ask me for that kind of help, buddy. I can't help you. Hi, Jar Jar. We have a derpy dog. He's a derpy pibble. Yes, we named him after, well, my fiance named him after Jar Jar Binks. So sorry if you have a face full of jeans and cat hair. Welcome to my life. So I'm just figuring I will just quickly, if I can find my lighter, there it is. Light a piece of this is St. Polo. St. Polo incense. It's supposed to be very negative energy clearing. And Pastor's grandkid. Well, that sucks. I mean, to be fair, many religions existed before Christianity and Catholicism, and there was just a great effort to erase them. I mean, for goodness sakes, the Romans were before Christ. Look at the Romans and the Greeks. They're clearly before Christ. Celtics, the Celts. Yeah, it's like Stonehenge is thousands of years old. They can't even date it. And a lot of the imagery of certain deities was definitely kind of smashed out of Christianity, and a lot of things that were like kind of adapted in later on. Like if you look in like the 40s, like a lot of the images of the Christian devil were added on to give him horns, when a lot of the Celtic gods, like the god of spring, the male god, the male counterpart to the goddess, who is commonly associated as having antlers and having horns, they're kind of trying to run that culture out of Ireland at the time and just kind of like destroy that imagery, make him like a bad person essentially. And when he wasn't, he was just that region's culture. It was just that region's god. And as you can see, I'm using a hawk feather. You should when you're burning incense, you really, really should kind of do that. Use a feather. It's called smudging. And it just kind of brings that smoke out and around. Even distribution helps guide it. I'm not doing it hard or really even focused. If I was trying to do it focused, it'd probably be more a bit, oops, sorry. That was a little too rough. But kind of flick it and then just let it go. With incense, you kind of want, there are rituals with incense. They say if you don't open the door with sage, you can't get rid of the negative energy and it doesn't know where to go. St. Polo, for example, they say that it's kind of like one of those things where if you have negative energy in the house, it doesn't matter if your windows are open or closed at all. It just kind of sucks it all in and helps rid it. So they are different. Sage, I always have to open the door for because it also feels stuffy. So if there's anybody has any questions for me, I'm more than willing to answer that. Well, oh yeah, I totally forgot. So we're getting married next September, and things are kind of rolling right along. And I'm getting married at Disney. They finally set us I had a tickle in the back of my throat. They sent us like the paperwork for yeah. This is what happens when you stop talking for a second and then like you space out. But that's my fault. But yeah, no, they sent us the paperwork for Magic Kingdom for the photo shoot, the photos. So that's exciting. We just got to figure that out. We're trying to figure out room arrangements now. We figured we're going to be staying at I think Port Orleans. Yeah, Port Orleans. It's hard to remember because like last time we stayed at Caribbean Beach. And it was really pretty and really fun, but I think like if I'm going to go, I want to stay at different resorts. I want to check out different ones. I think it's just more fun. One of my ex-friends, she called a control break. I'm not really sure what to make of that. I'm so sorry. I don't, like, she called you a control freak, or she called some, like, herself. I'm also slightly dying in here because, like, I have a sweater on over a shirt. And I also just shook out this cloth that was full of incense dust, and it's a pain. But yeah, so I'm gonna be moving some of this stuff off the couch because I have all my school stuff over there, so I can sit down and actually talk more. But yeah, so last time we stayed was at Caribbean Beach, and we got to eat at Be Our Guest, which is really nice, really, really pretty. And I would love it. I would absolutely love it if my family could try it there. I think that it would change their ideals and their minds about Disney. And I think that it would really kind of open their eyes and see, like, wow, this can actually be really mature and really enjoyable. And it's an idealistic place that I want to eat during the wedding at some point. But I don't think it'll happen during the wedding. It'll probably have to be, like, a reservation type of thing. But I think that if all goes right, hopefully. I'm still trying to figure out what you mean by that. But I'm going to be right back. I'm going to be moving some of the stuff off the couch because I'm going to be sitting down. So right now I'm sitting on the floor, and that's not comfortable because I do not have my yoga mat out, which I usually would use to sit on, or like maybe a cushion or something. See, things that drive me nuts are like sometimes I'll look at my altar cloth and I'll be like, is it even? Is it even? I'm OCD. Like I'm looking at it from across the room going internally, is the damn thing even? Which I guess it doesn't matter probably, realistically. As long as the intent is good, it probably doesn't matter. But I feel a strong need to rearrange and organize and Just clean it up every now and then. Oh, this little candle. It's a small tea light candle. I just like to keep one on the altar. Just because. It's like for ambience, I guess. Oh my god. Oh my god, you guys. So, whoever, if you're still here, one of your girlfriends. Okay, so same comment. So, yeah, sorry about that thing that just fell. It was my Hocus Pocus water bottle. I like live in my living room lately, and yeah, I pretty much live in here at this point. I love my living room so much. It's like half decorated Disney, and the other side's just witchy stuff. So it's a me room. It's a cozy room for me. And we definitely need to redo the house some. So like it's one of those things where like things will probably eventually get moved around some. But for now, it's like a this is my special space room kind of thing. But yeah. So we're just kind of starting out getting the planning. We have an officiant in mind. I just really want to know if he'll do it because he's from Pennsylvania, we're from Connecticut, and it's just kind of like we kind of need him to be able to come to Florida to do it, and it would be a hand fasting pagan wedding. Oh, I don't know why she would call your brother a control freak. But, I mean, I'll be honest, like, that's totally not my business. Nice. That is really lucky. We're having a costume party for my son this month because his birthday is early November. So we said, screw it, we'll do a costume party at my fiance's mom's house early this month. And he's going to be Buzz Lightyear this year. And it's super exciting. He's super excited. My daughter's going to be Audrey. I think it's Audrey or Aubrey from Descendants. I can't remember. But, fun news. Fun stuff. So, I went to this little shop today. It was like a little antique shop. And the lady there actually... I was there and I did not expect metaphysical things to be there. I didn't expect to find crystals or the giant hawk feather that I found. I really didn't. I just expected this cool little vintage shop because I saw a cool Halloween display on the outside. I was like, that's badass. I need to go in. And she was really cool. She was really, really sweet. And when I'd spoken to her... we got on the topic of hair. She found out that I was a cosmetology student, and she apparently went to an old friend of mine, my friend Dave, who owns a salon. It's kind of a rockery kind of salon, and like rocker chic vibe, like mega punk vibes, and apparently like she didn't know where he went, but so apparently he just moved his salon, that's all, and well, as we got on the topic of hair, I showed her the most recent picture of a client that I had done recently. She went from blonde to being magenta, and the girl didn't tip. Everyone was saying how great the girl's hair looked, and she did not tip. She had a ton of hair. I had to lighten it. I had to recolor her. And then, on top of it, the girl left being magenta, and her hair was completely curled, and I didn't get anything. And being a student, you don't get anything. You get tips. You do not get money. You do not get the money from the service, and that sucks. That sucks. A lot of phallic athames is what I'm gonna say. Okay, a lot of phalluses. There are a lot of phallic objects, is what it sucks. I think I might be coming down with something. But, the lady I was talking to, the shopkeeper, was just like, oh my god, I can't believe she didn't tip. Oh my god. She goes, I tip really well. In fact, I have a friend who tips really well. She goes, and she goes to me, I'm just going to come to you from now on. She goes, you did great. You did amazing. And she goes, I would like you to color my hair. And I guess I got a new client. And the funny thing was, I was eyeballing some items on the way out of the store. She had some limited edition items. It was a pocket watch, and it was a Minnie Mouse ear pocket watch, which is the coolest thing. I wish I took a picture of it. And she goes to me, when I go get my hair colored, I'm going to come in. She goes, I told her, you don't have to tip me. I was like, just give me these items. I'll take it over a tip any day. And she's like, okay, I'll bring you this pocket watch and this one. I think it was like a Sailor Mickey Mouse pocket watch. I think. But, she told me she would bring those for me. And I was so happy. That was so sweet. So I don't know if she really meant it or if she's really going to come into the salon one day. But if she does, we might have some limited edition discontinued pocket watches from Disney soon. And that would be really cool. I can add this to my collection and it makes me really, really happy. So I'm hoping that that'll be something I can look forward to. And on the bright side, she said she might bring a friend too. She said her friend also tips really well. And I'm like, please, I need the cash at this point, for the love of God. As much as I'm very, like to go take walks out in nature lately a lot more and meditate, and yes, I am very witchy, let's be fair. Being a witch is not without its, finances. Financial signs, I guess you can say. Not everyone, most people aren't lucky enough to naturally stumble across crystals. So, you end up purchasing them. Me, I have to actually charge my crystals. And if you're wondering what I mean by that, leave them out for under a full moon for like a week or a night, depending on how quickly you need it done. But yeah, so I'm ecstatic about that. And not only because, like, yes, fund my own hobbies, fund my Disney obsession, fund my witchy obsession, but I'd like to put some money aside for the wedding, and I'm trying really hard to get, like, our daycare bill kind of lowered again. Because we had Care for Kids, there's a complication with it that I'm not going to get into. It's not on my side, I will say that. But, yeah. So there is, Care for Kids is, like, a thing that helps you bring down the cost of your daycare bill if you live in Connecticut. So we're trying to get that reinstated. I'm not going to go into that hot mess of nonsense, though, right now, because, yeah, it's a sticky situation. But regardless, that would be awesome if I can get that lowered, because we're paying like $130 a week for part-time care. And I know it doesn't sound like a lot, but when you're only working off tips, it's a lot. It's a lot. And I mean, my fiance is a great help and all, but like, he's tired of it too. I know he is. So we gotta get the ball going on that, and that way we can put a little bit more here and there aside for the wedding. Like, I'd love to be able to save my tips more, get more tips. Obviously I want to get into a salon, and getting clients that'll actually follow me to a salon. The clients that'll actually follow me to a salon would be great. Oh, and speaking of something kind of exciting, it's not the most exciting thing, but I got recognized today for once for something, and I'm so kind of excited, because I'm not normally. But, like, I got voted as the student with the third most clients in the entire school, and that's kind of cool. So I'm kind of excited about that. I mean, I usually hate my school. I usually hate the students. But the fact that I have the third most amount of clients is awesome. That means I must be doing something right, where they want to come back to me. And that makes me happy. So maybe they'll follow me somewhere else. Or maybe, like, I don't know. I don't know, but it's a lot of pressure though. It's like, oh my god, I gotta make it's gotta be perfect. It's the pressure I put myself under. But it'll be fine, and everything will be great. We have a lot of celebrity stylists coming into the school next week. Hello, I just set up my entire altar. Let me know if you want to see it. You can also rewind the video after I'm done recording if you would like to. But I was just getting into the fact that like I'm a cosmetology student, and I think I obtained a new client today, and I'm super excited about that. We're going to be having some celebrity stylists at my school next week. Danielle Sporetto, a very famous Italian hairdresser, and she does this crazy stuff with hair. Like she can make make roses out of hair. It's kind of cool. We just had Philip Wolf. We had Philip Wolf there last 2 weeks ago. No, about 2 weeks ago, and he worked on the set of a lot of Quentin Tarantino films. That's what it was. I can't remember the name of that director offhand because I'm not like a huge horror or gore person. Like it's not my thing as much. I like horror, but like I don't like gore. So Quentin Tarantino's not really my thing. But we had that guy, and he charges like his name's Philip Wolf. He charges like $400 a cut, which is nuts. And so there's that. I guess, you know, if you can work on Quentin Tarantino sets, I guess you can charge whatever the hell you want. And people will pay you for it. But then again, let's be fair. If you're cutting Kim Kardashian's hair, $400 is probably the equivalent of $40 to her. It's probably not that big a deal. But, so yeah, we have Omar and Renato coming in next week. Danielle Sporetto next week. And I'm just sitting there like, dang it, guys, you're making it really hard for me to skip. There's going to be all this learning going on. There's going to be all these exciting opportunities going on. I can't even skip this week. Son of a bitch. Damn it. Which, yeah, like, I know, it sounds terrible, but, like, I shouldn't be skipping. I know, I need to be an obedient student, but, like, I can't help it. When October rolls around, I want to do all the things. So, it's hard. Like, this week, I didn't go, but there was a Ouija board session going on. It was, I believe, yesterday. We had something going on yesterday, and, like, I can't remember quite what it was. Oh, I had to stop at a local metaphysical shop. Well, not local for me. It was like 45 minutes away. So I had to stop there just to pick up some things. I'm trying to think if I can see anything from here. Oh, the abalone shell and the stand. That was something definitely I needed to get. Some crystals. And I just wanted to visit. I also got this necklace there. I believe this is selenite, and I just like this a lot. So I had to. So, hello, whoever is in here. And, but the day before, I definitely stopped at Stella Luna. Stella Luna's is another metaphysical shop, so, and I wanted to get a skeleton key, which I'm going to tell you right now, I need to find skeleton keys in different places, because that felt way too expensive. I'm like, this is ridiculous. I get it. It's, like, one of the symbols of Hecate, but, like, for goodness sakes, this is expensive, like, for a key. It was, like, $10 for a key, and I'm like, you should feel ashamed of yourself. I mean, I get it. You gotta turn a profit, but Jesus Christ, is that the way to do it? Jesus crazy, is that the way to do it? Oh my gods and goddesses. And I've been making new sayings lately too. It's kind of funny. Some of my favorite ones are oh my gods instead of oh my god. Or, you know, there's oh my gods. And lately, just to, because I'm not Christian or Catholic. Oh, sorry, I was reading a message on there. And, my other favorite ones, because I'm not really the most popular girl in my school right now, and I'm okay with that. One of my favorite expressions is, though, bitch is gonna bitch, witch is gonna witch. And I think that's one of my favorite ones right now. But, yeah, it was also the anniversary of my older brother's passing in 2002 on the 1st. So it's been a bit of a hard week. And maybe that's why, like, I've been, like, going crazy about my altar more than usual this week. Um, I've definitely been flying by the seat of my pants, so to speak, and just keeping myself busy. I've been doing more divination, scrying, and because it's the time of the year that the veil between the worlds is thinnest, and I want, like, it's hard. It doesn't get old. It doesn't get easier as time goes on. So, like, I want to keep in touch, I guess you can say, in some way or another. And it's hard because my daughter and my son, they have asked me in the past, like, who is that guy in the picture? And I say, it's your uncle. And it's like they don't really understand because, they can't see him. He passed away so long ago. And he got hit by a car, for anyone wondering. Yeah, so I'm not really going to go into more detail than that because it just gets awkward, I feel like, if I go into more detail. It's like, for me, it gets awkward. But, like, it feels like when I explain who he is to them, it feels like I'm almost talking about a character in a book or a character in a movie, and I don't like that. Like, I want them to realize that their uncle was a real person, and that just because he's not here anymore, that doesn't mean that he wouldn't love them, and that he doesn't love them, because, in my opinion, no one knows what happens. Everyone claims they know. Like, people, like, always say, I was dead for 10 minutes, and they brought me back, and I saw things. No, you probably didn't, because you weren't dead. If you were able to come back, you weren't dead. That's just my opinion. So, yeah. It's just a lot of thought going on. Just lots and lots of thoughts. I will wrap this up by reading a little passage out of my Living Wicca book. I will read you guys about, if you're interested, I'll read about Samhain. So, for anyone wondering, this is the Wheel of the Year. Up at the very top here, on December 22nd, we have Yule. Imbolg is Imbolg, depends how you pronounce it. February 2nd. Astara is Map, is on March 21st. May 1st is Beltane. It's like, Beltane, just the excuse to have lots of sex. No, Star is a fertility festival. Let's be honest, it sounds a lot like Easter. And if you can't figure that one out, bunnies. Lots of bunnies on Easter. And eggs. That's a fertility festival. So Midsummer, June 21st. Lutznaga and Lutznagad is August 1st. Mabon, September 21st. We just had this one. This is like the considered to be the witch's Thanksgiving. I love it. Samhain, the one that's coming right up. October 31st. And then December 21st, again, will be Yule. And so I will read you a little bit about this. That way whoever's watching can get their little education bit in. So, Samhain traditions. Pronounce Samhain or Savin or Samhain. Regional. It's probably accent. I call it Samhain. Or end of summer. It means the end of summer. And marks the third and final harvest. Other common names for this greater Sabbath are Third Harvest, Day of the Dead, and All Hallows Eve. Today, Samhain is commonly considered the witches' New Year. Note, you may encounter some witches and traditions that consider Yule to be their New Year, because that is when the sun begins a new cycle of increased light on Earth. As you learn more about Sabbats, you can determine which traditions you feel are most appropriate for your New Year celebration. The Sabbat is generally celebrated on October 31st. Let's see. I just lost. There, lost my face. Let's see. But some traditions were for November 1st. This is one of the two spirit nights, the other being Beltane. Many believe it to be a magical interval when the mundane laws of time and space are temporarily suspended. It is said that it is said that when this thin veil between the worlds is lifted, it is easier to communicate with ancestors and departed loved ones as they journey through this world on their way to the summer lands. In Celtic countries, they would offer foods. They would offer and honor their loved ones by leaving foods on altars and doorsteps for the wandering dead. This was known as the Feast of the Dead. Symbols of Samhain: the third harvest, the dark mysteries, rebirth through death. Do not ask me what the dark mysteries are, because now I need to Google it. Gourds, apples, black cats, jack-o'-lanterns, and besoms, or as we know them, broomsticks. Herbs of Samhain: mugwort, allspice, broom. Apparently, broom is an herb, and I didn't know this. I don't know how it's an herb. I'm going to find out, though, because Cauldron's Flame is right down the street, and let me tell you, I at least need to go and ask her how that's an herb, because I've always known it as a tool. A tool for cleaning, but I'll find out. I'll find out one day, and I will get back to you probably in the next live stream. Catnip, deadly nightshade, mandrake, which you gotta love. The story of mandrake roots, and I will not go into them. You can Google it. Sabrina the Teenage Witch has an awesome, The Chilling Adventures of Sabrina has an awesome episode on that. Let's see. Oak leaves, sage, and straw are all the herbs and spices, you can say, of Samhain. Incense of Samhain is heliotrope, mint, and nutmeg. Colors of Samhain: black, orange, white, silver, and gold. Stones of Samhain: all black stones, preferably jet or obsidian. I like to honor my goddesses well at all times, so I always keep the white ones out there too. I know. I should be more attentive to the book. But it's also a liberal kind of culture. It's kind of a liberal kind of religious practice, you could say. So I definitely do my own thing. Let's see. Preferably jet or obsidian. Definitely have both of those. But snowflake obsidian's so weird. It's just like black with white spots. Anyway. Samhain activities. Yes, I love the activities portion. Gives me something to look forward to. Although most of today's pagans are no longer country folks who grow crops and tend livestock, this can still be celebrated as a harvest. The harvest of thought seeds, as the Celtic and Witches' New Year. It's also a time for remembering the past and forecasting the future. Here are a few family-friendly activities. Bright futures. Materials: 10 to 12 flower buds, a trowel or a small shovel, a small spot of earth for a flower bed. Decide where you want the flowers to bloom in the spring. Dig the hole for each bulb, 2.5 times the diameter of the bulb. Place or pour some fertilizer into the bottom of the hole. Place in the bulb, root side down, cover with dirt. Water the area well. The bulbs are buried as the sun god starts his journey to the underworld. Just as he is not really dead, neither are the bulbs. They are warm and alive beneath the ground, in the womb of the Mother Earth, gathering strength for when they emerge next spring and bloom as bright as the sun. Which I think it's a really pretty passage. So, yeah, it's pretty. Let's see. Or you can make Jacko-twist lanterns. Interesting. 1 mini pumpkin, 1 taper candle for each lantern you want to make. Cut off the top of a mini pumpkin. Make sure the opening is no larger than a quarter. Remove all seeds with a small spoon or tip of a peeler. Allow children to paint faces on the pumpkins before sticking a taper candle into it. Carefully cut the center out of the top of the pumpkin, slightly smaller hole than the pumpkin itself, and slip over the candle. Press the top down and gently until it is a tight fit. Pagan children used turnips rather than pumpkins to make jack-o'-lanterns, as pumpkins were not indigenous to Europe at that time. Oh, carefully cut the center out of the pumpkin, out of the top of it. So I think it's just jack-o'-lanterns. I think it's just jack-o'-lanterns. I'm looking at it, I'm like, why are they painting faces? Don't you mean drawing? I mean, like, I know kids definitely paint faces on pumpkins sometimes. Maybe they mean drawing and then cutting the pieces out. I don't know. I'll have to read that passage on my own later, because I'm like, I mean, like, even I'm a little, like, natural old maid. I'm not even going to read this one. I'm not a card player. This is essentially, you would take, you take dried leaves and you'd press them onto cardstock and with glue and felt markers, and you would make playing cards, and you could just play cards. So that's what it is. Other activities that you can do. I want to make apple pancake. There's foods that you can make for this as well, for that celebrate this holiday. Well, Sabbath. So it's so hard when you grow up, like, I grew up kind of like half and half. I grew up being pagan and like, but my dad's side of the family was very super Christian Catholic, mostly Christian, I think. But you know, that sort of thing was, you were different. You were told you were going to hell, and it's so weird. Like, and it's hard to you know, society tells you you're wrong all the time if you're not Christian or Catholic. And so it's like, you're constantly kind of correcting yourself. So when I say holiday, I mean Sabbath. I'm trying my hardest to be a better witch. But Samhain foods and recipes. Foods of Samhain: turnips, apples, gourds, nuts, mulled wines, beef, pork, poultries. And this is exactly why some of the stuff I have on my altar, I have oats, and oats, gourds, and let's see, nuts on my altar as like just honorary altar foods. And there's my cat Rumple. Rumple! He doesn't care. But no, he's scratching the door. But yeah, so apple pancakes are one thing that I can make. Stuffed mushrooms sound really good. And like, that's just a couple of the things that the book offers. And so I just kind of like wanted to like give you guys a little bit of insight onto how I see it, how I view it. Hello, I don't know who is in here, but I was just reading a passage from one of my favorite books, which is Living Wicca, and just about Samhain, about the witch's new year. So, but I'm going to be wrapping up here. I've been on this stream for a little while now, and now I have to go fix my altar cloth because it's bugging the heck out of me, because it's uneven, and because I'm like that. So good night, everyone, and I hope that you all had a blessed Mabon, and I hope that you all have a wonderful Samhain. I will be in touch before then, because that's on October 31st, of course it is. All Hallows Eve, Day of the Dead, be it whatever you call it. It's usually going to last for 2 days, and at least 2 days anyway. But I hope you all had a blessed Mabon and a blessed Samhain. And merry meet, merry part, and merry meet again. Bye, everyone.